Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. We're going to be jumping headfirst into the latest AI news from February 11th, 2025.
We've got a lot to cover, from research breakthroughs to industry shakeups and even some ethical quandaries. It's going to be a wild ride.
You're telling me. Let's kick things off with the biggest story of the day, Elon Musk and his audacious bid to buy OpenAI.
Yeah, this one caught everyone off guard. Musk is leading a $97.4 billion offer, backed by some serious players. Think xAI, his own AI company.
Along with Baron Capital and Valor, just to name a few. But the real question is why?
I think it's safe to say Musk wants to steer OpenAI in a new direction.
More commercial, less focused on the open source approach that they're known for.
Potentially. It's hard to say for sure, but a move like this could drastically change the AI landscape. Imagine the impact on independent developers if access to OpenAI's resources becomes more restricted.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the European Union is taking a very different approach.
The AI Action Summit in Paris just wrapped up. Global leaders got together to discuss responsible AI development. Macron stressed ethical guidelines, even contrasting it with the U.S. approach.
It seems to be innovate first, regulate later.
Exactly. France even pledged $109 billion towards AI development, but with an emphasis on ethical considerations. This difference in perspective is going to be interesting to watch.
Especially as AI becomes more integrated into sensitive areas like military applications. Striking that balance between innovation and responsible use is a real challenge.
It is. But there are some encouraging signs. OpenAI recently announced they'll offer EU-based data storage for their enterprise and education customers.
Responding directly to those EU data privacy concerns.
Right. Data privacy is a global concern, and this move could be a win-win, allowing OpenAI to expand while addressing those regulatory concerns.
Speaking of global competition, there's a new player making waves. DeepSeek, a Chinese AI company. Their Janus Pro model is turning heads, but not always for the right reasons.
Yeah, their technology is impressive, advanced capabilities, but those data security practices, they're raising some eyebrows. Reports suggest unencrypted data transmission to ByteDance servers.
That's concerning, especially given the geopolitical climate.
It really highlights the shifting dynamics of the AI landscape. Silicon Valley's dominance is being challenged, and this is just the beginning.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about AI agents, specifically the rise of multi-agent systems.
This is where things get really interesting. These agents can reason, plan, interact with their environment, to achieve goals. We're not talking about simple chatbots anymore.
It's a whole new level of AI sophistication, and we're seeing frameworks popping up left and right. LangChain, LangGraph, Crew AI, the list goes on.
And these aren't just theoretical concepts either. We've got real-world applications. Think personal assistance, customer support, even AI-driven automation.
There's even a tutorial out there on building an O3 mini agent to predict gold prices. It's amazing how accessible these tools are becoming.
It really is. We're going to see some incredible applications emerge as this technology matures.
But with all these advancements, we can't ignore the impact on the workforce.
There's been some interesting research lately suggesting that workers are becoming overly reliant on AI.
Leading to a potential decline in critical thinking skills.
Right. And it's not just a future concern either. A study found that a whopping 93% of Gen Z workers are already using AI in their jobs.
That's a staggering number. It really highlights the need to adapt.
Absolutely. We need to equip the workforce with the skills to thrive in an AI-powered world.
And focus on those uniquely human skills that AI can't replicate. Creativity, empathy, critical thinking.
Exactly. AI shouldn't replace us. It should augment us, making us more efficient and effective.
All right, let's dive into some of the specific AI developments that are making headlines.
Well, DeepMind's Alpha Geometry AI just achieved something remarkable.
They managed to solve complex Olympiad math problems, even outperforming humans.
Yeah, it really showcases the power of AI in problem solving.
On a later note, we've got Apple engineers who've created, wait for it, a Pixar-like table lamp with AI capabilities.
It's not just about lighting anymore. This lamp can express emotions, it can interact with users, it's like a little companion with a bit of personality.
AI is finding its way into every nook and cranny of our lives.
It really is, but not all developments are met with such enthusiasm. Thousands of artists are protesting an AI art auction.
They're claiming that the artwork is based on copyrighted material, basically calling it mass theft.
This raises some really thorny questions about intellectual property rights in the age of AI.
Whose art is it,
Yeah.
The AIs,
Mm-hmm.
the developers. the artists whose work was used to train the AI. It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
Especially as AI-generated art becomes more prevalent.
And then there's Allstate. They just announced that almost all their communication about insurance claims is now done with AI.
That's raising some eyebrows, particularly when it comes to transparency and accountability.
Are customers even aware they're interacting with a machine?
And what happens if the AI makes a mistake? Who's responsible?
It seems like every step forward in AI brings a new set of challenges.
That's the nature of progress, I suppose. It's up to us to navigate these complexities and ensure that AI benefits humanity as a whole.
It's a lot to unpack. We'll be diving deeper into these topics in our next segment.
All right, let's dig into some of the more technical developments happening in the world of AI research.
Yeah, let's get nerdy with it.
Okay, so first up, there's been a lot of buzz about this new AI model called Crazer.
I saw that. Something about making training large language models more efficient, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Crazer uses this technique called significant data razoring.
Right.
And it's all about achieving this reliable and effortless 4-bit quantization of LLMs.
Okay. I'm going to need you to break that down for me.
Mm.
What is 4-bit quantization?
Sure. So basically, it's a way to reduce the precision of the numbers that are used in the model.
Okay.
And by doing that, it also reduces the computational resources that are needed for training.
So kind of like compressing a file to make it smaller.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. By using lower precision numbers, Crazer can really cut down on the memory and processing power needed to train these massive language models.
That sounds like a pretty big deal, especially with these models just getting bigger and more complex all the time.
It is. This could potentially make training LLMs more accessible to researchers and developers who don't have access to, those massive supercomputers.
Democratizing AI in a sense.
Exactly. And that could lead to even more innovation down the line.
Okay, so Grazer's one to watch. What else is catching your eye in the research world?
Well, there's this really interesting paper that came out recently exploring something called reward-guided speculative decoding.
Okay, that sounds very technical.
It is, but it's fascinating stuff. Essentially, it's a new method for improving the efficiency of how LLMs reason and solve problems.
Okay.
So it uses this reward mechanism to guide the decoding process.
Okay.
And that encourages the model to explore more promising paths toward the solution.
So instead of just trying every possible solution, it gets a little nudge in the right direction.
Precisely. It's like giving the AI a map and a compass to help it navigate this complex maze.
Makes sense. This could really boost the problem-solving abilities of LLMs, right?
Yeah, it has the potential. And speaking of improving LLM performance, there's another paper that caught my eye. This one's on online learning from strategic human feedback in LLM fine-tuning.
Okay, so break that down for me.
So basically, it's about making the fine-tuning process more efficient by incorporating human feedback in real time.
So instead of training the model on a static data set, it can learn and adapt on the fly.
Exactly. And that can really speed up the fine-tuning process and lead to more accurate and responsive LLMs.
Okay, so it's all about making these LLMs smarter and more adaptable.
That's the goal. And it's not just happening in academia either. We're seeing companies like DataRobot making big moves.
Oh yeah, DataRobot. They're really investing in their AI capabilities.
Yeah, they recently acquired this company called Agnostic, which specializes in managing compute resources for agentic AI applications.
So they're beefing up their infrastructure to support these more complex AI systems.
Exactly. Because managing those computational demands is becoming a huge challenge as these systems become more sophisticated.
Okay, so we've talked about some pretty heavy technical stuff. Let's lighten things up a bit.
Okay, how about those Apple engineers who created that Pixar-like table lamp with AI capability?
Yeah, the one that can express emotions. Whatever happened with that?
Well, it looks like that concept has sparked a trend.
Really?
Other companies are starting to explore similar applications of AI in everyday objects.
So we're going to start seeing more and more appliances with personalities.
Yeah, think AI-powered toasters that learn your preferred level of toast, or refrigerators that suggest recipes based on the ingredients you have.
Okay, that's kind of cool, but also a little weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, how much AI do we really want in our homes?
Yeah, that's a good question. It definitely raises some interesting questions about how comfortable we are with AI becoming so integrated into our personal lives.
Okay. On a totally different note, I came across this story about a new AI model called OmniHuman 1.
Ah, yeah, the one that can turn a single photo into a moving, talking person.
Yeah, exactly. So you take a still image of someone, and this AI can generate a video of them talking, gesturing, even performing actions.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. It shows just how far AI has come in terms of manipulating and generating realistic visuals.
But the potential for misuse is kind of terrifying, right?
Absolutely. This is deep fake territory. Imagine the implications for misinformation and propaganda.
Yeah, it's going to become even harder to tell what's real and what's fake.
Exactly. And that could have serious consequences for trust in information and media.
Okay, so we've got AI that can help us solve complex math problems, AI that can turn our homes into sci-fi movies, AI that can create realistic deepfakes. What else is new?
Well, AI is also making major inroads in a variety of industries. Take finance, for example.
Okay, how is AI changing the world of finance?
Well, for one thing, it's being used to automate a lot of tasks that used to be done by humans, things like data entry and analysis.
Okay.
And it's also being used to personalize customer experiences. Think chatbots that can answer your questions about your account or even provide financial advice.
Okay,
And of course, AI is playing a big role in fraud detection. AI algorithms can analyze massive amounts of data to identify suspicious activity.
makes sense. What about healthcare? Any big AI developments there?
Oh, absolutely. AI is transforming healthcare in a big way. We're seeing AI being used to analyze medical images like x-rays and CT scans,
Uh,
and that can help doctors make more accurate diagnoses. AI is also being used to develop personalized treatment plans based on a patient's individual genetic makeup and medical history.
wow, so AI is really starting to personalize medicine.
Yeah, and it's even being used to assist in with drug discovery. AI algorithms can analyze massive databases of molecules to identify potential drug candidates.
Okay, so AI is speeding up the process of developing new treatments.
Exactly, and that could have a huge impact on patient outcomes.
Okay, so finance, healthcare. What other industries are being impacted by AI?
Well, transportation is another big one. Obviously, self-driving cars are a major area of development.
Yeah, Tesla's been leading the charge there.
Right. But there are still a lot of challenges to overcome when it comes to safety and regulation.
Yeah, and then there are the societal implications. Like, how will self-driving cars affect jobs in the transportation industry? How will they change our cities and infrastructure?
Those are big questions that we're still grappling with. And then there's education.
I've heard about AI tutors and personalized learning platforms. Is that stuff actually working?
Yeah, AI is starting to make its way into classrooms in a variety of ways. We're seeing AI being used to personalize learning experiences so that students can learn at their own pace and focus on the areas where they need the most help.
Okay.
AI can also provide students with real-time feedback on their work and even grade their assignments.
So AI is taking over some of the tasks that teachers used to do.
In a way, yes. But the goal is not to replace teachers. It's to support them and free them up to focus on the things that humans do best, like mentoring and inspiring students.
Makes sense. So AI is changing the game in a lot of different industries. But what about its impact on society as a whole?
Well, one of the most exciting things about AI is its potential to help us tackle some of the world's most pressing challenges, like climate change, for example.
Okay, how can AI help us with climate change?
Well, AI can be used to analyze vast amounts of data to help us understand the complex factors that are driving climate change.
Okay.
And that can help us develop more effective strategies for mitigation and adaptation. AI can also be used to develop new technologies for renewable energy sources and to optimize energy consumption.
So AI can help us transition to a more sustainable future.
Exactly. And AI can also be used to track the spread of infectious diseases and develop new treatments.
Okay, so AI has the potential to improve human health and well-being on a global scale.
Absolutely. But of course, with great power comes great responsibility.
Right. We need to make sure that AI is used for good and not for evil.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations about the ethical implications of AI.
So let's talk about that. What are some of the key ethical considerations that we need to be thinking about as AI becomes more powerful?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is the potential for AI to be used to create autonomous weapons systems.
Killer robots.
Essentially, yes. And that's a very scary thought. We need to make sure that we have international agreements in place to prevent the development and deployment of such weapons.
Okay, what else?
Another big concern is bias. AI systems are trained on data, and if that data is biased, then the AI system will be biased too.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. And that can lead to all sorts of problems. For example, a biased AI system could be used to make hiring decisions that discriminate against certain groups of people.
Okay, so we need to make sure that the data that's used to train AI systems is fair and unbiased.
Right. And we also need to develop techniques to mitigate bias in AI systems, even if the data is biased. And then there's the issue of privacy.
AI systems collect a lot of data about us, right?
They do. And we need to make sure that our data is being used responsibly and that our privacy is being protected.
Okay, so we need to have strong privacy regulations in place to govern the use of AI.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's the question of job displacement.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried that AI is going to take their jobs.
And it's true that some jobs will be lost to automation, but AI will also create new jobs, and many existing jobs will be transformed. We need to make sure that we're preparing people for these changes by investing in education and training.
So it's not just about developing new AI technologies, it's also about preparing society for the changes that AI will bring.
Exactly. It's a multifaceted challenge that requires a holistic approach.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the risks of AI, but let's not forget about the potential benefits.
Right. AI has the potential to improve our lives in countless ways. Well, for one thing, AI can help us to be more productive. AI can automate tasks that are currently time-consuming and tedious, freeing up our time for more creative and fulfilling work.
Okay.
AI can also help us to make better decisions. AI can analyze vast amounts of data to identify patterns and trends that humans might miss.
Okay.
And that can help us to make more informed decisions in areas like business, healthcare, and government.
Makes sense. And what about the potential of AI to solve some of the world's biggest problems?
Yeah, as we talked about earlier, AI has the potential to help us address challenges like climate change, poverty, and disease.
So AI could be a powerful force for good in the world.
It could be. But it's up to us to make sure that it is. We need to be thoughtful about how we develop and deploy AI, and we need to make sure that it's aligned with our values.
Okay, so it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we use it.
Exactly. AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil.
Well said. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground in this segment. Any final thoughts before we move on?
Just that AI is a rapidly evolving field, and it's important to stay informed about the latest developments.
Definitely. We'll continue to explore the world of AI in our next segment. All right, let's wrap things up with a few more headlines from the AI world.
Well, Google just made their notebook LM Plus available to individual users.
That's their AI-powered note-taking and research assistant, right? I thought it was only for businesses before.
It was, but now anyone who subscribes to Google One AI Premium can access it, and students can even get a 50% discount.
So what can it do? What's all the hype about?
Well, it can summarize documents, generate ideas, even write different kinds of creative text formats like poems, codes, scripts, you name it.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. It sounds like a really valuable tool for students, researchers, writers, really anyone who works with a lot of text.
It is. It really shows how AI is becoming more integrated into our everyday lives. But, for all the potential benefits, we have to remember the risks, too.
Absolutely. Like what are some of the concerns that are top of mind for you?
Well, the potential for misuse is a big one. We've seen reports of AI chatbots being manipulated to spread misinformation.
Right. That's a real danger. It erodes trust and can have serious consequences.
Exactly. We need to be really careful about how we develop and deploy these technologies. We need strong safeguards, ethical guidelines, and we also need to educate the public about the potential risks.
I agree. And then there's the issue of bias, right? AI systems can perpetuate and even amplify existing biases.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge concern, especially when you think about sensitive areas like hiring or loan applications. If the data used to train these AI systems is biased, the results can be discriminatory.
So what can we do about it?
Well, for starters, we need to be really careful about the data we use to train these systems. We need to make sure it's representative and diverse. And we also need to develop techniques to mitigate bias, even if the data itself is imperfect.
And of course, there's the big question of job displacement. I mean, AI is automating tasks that were traditionally done by humans, and that's only going to accelerate.
That's true. And it's a valid concern. Some jobs will inevitably be lost. But it's not a simple equation of AI replacing humans entirely. AI will also create new jobs, and many existing jobs will be transformed.
So it's more about adaptation than outright replacement.
Right. And that's why education and training are going to be so crucial. We need to help people develop the skills they'll need to thrive in this new AI-powered world.
It's pretty mind-blowing to think about how quickly AI is evolving. What do you think the future holds? What will AI be capable of in 5, 10, 20 years?
It's hard to say for sure, but the possibilities seem almost limitless. We can expect to see even more breakthroughs in areas like natural language processing, computer vision, robotics, and who knows what else.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting at the same time.
It is, but one thing's for sure. AI is going to continue to shape our world in profound ways. And it's important that we stay engaged in the conversation, that we ask tough questions, and that we work together to ensure that AI is used for good.
I couldn't agree more. Well, that's about all the time we have for today.
Yeah, it looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive.
But the conversation doesn't have to end here. We encourage everyone to keep exploring these topics, to do your own research, and to share your thoughts.
Let us know what you think. What are your hopes and fears about the future of AI?
Leave us a comment, reach out on social media. We're eager to hear from you.
Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.
Until next time.